Amir Mukhtar Faezi, my elders and brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Tonight we are celebrating the birth anniversary and the life and legacy of Imam Hasan Al Askari alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And despite the circumstances, I would like to welcome you and congratulate all of you on this auspicious occasion. It is reported that Imam Hasan Al Askari alayhi salam was born on the 8th of Rabiul Sani in the city of Medina in year 232 after Hijri, and martyred in year 260, so at the age of 28. He has various titles. He is most well known for being the father of the Imam of our time, Imam Muhammad al-Mahdi Sahibul Zaman alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. May Allah hasten his reappearance. Imam Hasan Al Askari alayhi salam is a man from whose life many lessons can be learned and many examples can be derived. We will begin our program with the recitation of the glorious Quran. That will be followed by a short speech by a young sister. Following that, there is poetry in praise of the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam and a speech by Hujjatul Islam, Maulana Shayk Amir Mukhtar Faezi. The program will conclude with dinner in the banquet hall. So let us honor the program with the recitation of the glorious Quran. I would like to ask Brother Ali Ode to come forward. Please welcome him with salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سبح اسم ربك الأعلى الذي خلق فسوى والذي قدر فهدى والذي أخرج المرعى فجعله غثاء أحوى سنقرئك فلا تنسى إلا ما شاء الله إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى ونيسرك لليسرى فذكر إن نفعت الذكرى سيذكر من يخشى ويتجنبها الأشقى الذي يصلى النار الكبرى ثم لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه فصلى بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا والآخرة خير وأبقى إن هذا لفي الصحف الأولى صحف إبراهيم وموسى صدق الله العلي العظيم.
Ahsant, Jazakallah for that beautiful recitation, for the health, well-being and continued guidance of Brother Ali Ode. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Now I would like to ask Sister Zainab Ghadir to come forward for a short speech about the life and legacy of Imam Hasan Al Askari alayhi salam. Please welcome her with salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum, dear brothers, sisters, and respective scholar. My name is Zainab Khadir, and I will be discussing Imam Hasan Al Askari alayhi salam and his qualities of being a leader. Imam Hasan Al Askari was born in Medina on the 8th of Rabi' al-Thani. His father was Imam Ali al-Hadi alayhi salam, the 10th Imam, who was the most knowledgeable, pious, and virtuous people of all time. His mother was the best woman at her time, known for her chastity, purity, and piety. Imam al-Hadi alayhi salam named his blessed newborn child Al-Hasan, like the name of his great uncle, the master of the youth of paradise. He surnamed him as Abu Muhammad, where Muhammad was the name of the awaited Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam, the great reformer and savior of humanity. A distinct aspect in the childhood of Imam Hasan Al Askari was the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He was God-fearing since his early years. Faith in Allah was a part of and distinguishing element of Imam Abu Muhammad alayhi salam. Imam Al Askari alayhi salam spent a part of his life with his father, Imam Al-Hadi alayhi salam. He did not part with his father even during his travels. He saw in his father a true picture of morals, his grandfather, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. When Imam al-Hadi alayhi salam died, Imam Hasan al-Askari alayhi salam was in his early 20s. He assumed the imamat and the general religious authority over Muslims while he himself was young. Imam Hasan Al Askari alayhi salam demonstrated profound wisdom, which allowed him to share knowledge to his followers while encouraging them to engage with Islamic teachings. His approach to education was ensuring that the people understood faith with clarity and understanding. He effectively showed the belief of Islam with compassion, allowing his followers to grasp his teachings deeply. Through his wisdom, he guided students in their personal and spiritual development, nurturing a generation of future scholars who would play an important role in spreading the teaching of Islam. This legacy of wisdom, combined with his compassion, not only showed his leadership, but also showed a strong sense of loyalty and respect among those who saw his guidance. No one was more generous than him among all people of his time. He appointed the agents in most of the Muslim countries and entrusted them to receive all the legal dues and spend them on the poor and the deprived, to reconcile arguments between people and the general welfare of people. Historians mentioned about his generosity. One was that of Muhammad bin Ali bin Ibrahim bin Musa bin Jafar al-Qadim alayhi salam, who said, "We were in utmost need," and his father said, "Let's go to this man. It is says he is generous." I said, "Do you know him?" He said, "No, I have never seen him at all." So they traveled to see Imam Hasan Al Askari alayhi salam, and on the way the father said, "I hope that he gives us 500 dirham, 200 for clothes, 200 for flour, and 100 for spending." Muhammad bin Ali says that he hopes Imam Hasan Al Askari would give 300 dirham, 100 to buy a donkey, 100 for spending, and 100 for clothes so that I can go to the mountains. When they reached Imam Hasan Al Askari's door, his servant came out and said that the Imam had been waiting for them. When we came in and greeted him, he said to my father, "O Ali, why not visit us all this time?" My father said, "I felt shy to meet you in this case." When they left, the servant of the Imam came and gave Ali ibn Ibrahim a pouch of money and said, "These are 500 dirham, 200 for clothes, 200 for flour, and 100 for spending." He gave Muhammad a pouch of 300 dirhams and said to him, "Spend 100 for buying a donkey, 100 for clothes, and 100 for spending, and do not go to the mountains but go to Sawra." It is indeed through Allah's grace that Imam Hasan Al Askari gave exactly what was needed. Historians mention many stories of his generosity that show his love and kindness to the poor and the deprived. From the Imam's life in Samara was not peaceful even under house arrest. From time to time he was taken to Baghdad, questioned, and put into prison there. On one occasion, the Imam was taken by the Turkish guards to Baghdad, where he was kept in prison during the short reign of Caliph al-Muqtafi and al-Mu'tamid. When he was prisoner in Baghdad, there was a severe drought and all the crops were drying up. A Christian priest came and lifted his hands in prayer and the rain fell. The Caliph became concerned because he thought the people would turn over to Christianity. When they consulted with the Imam, he said that he would see the miracles the priest was doing and would remove people's doubts. They gave Imam permission to leave the prison and would go to the crowds where they were all assembled to see the priest. The Imam stood in the crowd, and as the priest raised his hand in prayer, the rain began to fall. The Imam told a companion of his to seize the hands of the priest and bring a piece of bone hidden in his hands. As his companion put the bone in his hand, the Imam said that this was a bone of a prophet of Allah. It was the effect of the bone when lifted into prayer to God that brought God's mercy and brought rain upon the land, not the Christian priest. After this, the Imam spread his prayer mat and performed 2 rakat namaz, and then lifted his bare hands to God for rain to come and wipe the drought. The Imam's prayers were heard, and so much rain fell that the land became fertile again, and crops began to grow. In recognition of his service, he was allowed to leave the prison and go back home to Samara, still under house arrest. This shows how the Imam handled the situation with patience and offering a lot of guidance. He didn't judge the people for having doubts about Islam, but instead he patiently showed the people that the priest was using a bone of a prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He then guided people that praying to Allah will be more beneficial and be the best for them. In conclusion, the life of Imam Hasan Al Askari alayhi salam served as a testament to the qualities of patience, wisdom, and compassion in leadership. His ability to inspire and uplift followers during challenging times remained relevant. And as we reflect upon his teachings, we are reminded of the profound impact Imam Hasan Al Askari alayhi salam has on the teachings of Islam, instilling values to resonate with those who seek enlightenment. Salawat.
Jazakallah. For the health, well-being, and continued guidance of Sister Zainab Ghadir, Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. I would like to ask Brother Mohsin Hadi to come forward for the recitation of poetry. Please welcome him with Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala
अस्सलाम वालेकुम। आप तमाम मोमिनीन और मोमिनात को मौला इमाम हसन अल अस्करी अलैहिस्सलाम की विलादत बहुत बहुत मुबारक हो। और इसी दिन के हवाले से मनक़बत के चंद अशार हैं, वो पेश करने की सादत महसूस करता हूँ। मौला इजाज़त। एक दफ़ा दुरूद पड़ेगा मोहम्मद व आले मोहम्मद। मौला 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 हसन अस्करी की सना कर रहा हूँ, हसन अस्करी की सना कर रहा हूँ, जो अजरे रिसालत है अदा कर रहा हूँ। हसन अस्करी की सना कर रहा हूँ, जो अजरे रिसालत है अदा कर रहा हूँ। इसको थोड़ा सा तब्दील करता हूँ ताकि वज़न आ जाए। हसन अस्करी की सना करते रहना, जो अजरे रिसालत है अदा करते रहना। हसन अस्करी की सना करते रहना, जो अजरे रिसालत है अदा करते रहना। अली के मलंगों दरे अस्करी से, अली के मलंगों दरे अस्करी से वफा कर रहे हो, वफा करते रहना, जो अजरे रिसालत है अदा करते रहना। हसन अस्करी की सना करते रहना, जो अजरे रिसालत है अदा करते रहना। मदीना है एक इल्म के दर है बारा, मदीना है एक इल्म के दर है बारा। दरे मुस्तफ़ा पे सदा करते रहना, जो अजरे रिसालत है अदा करते रहना। हसन अस्करी की सना करते रहना, जो अजरे रिसालत है अदा करते रहना। है बुग़्ज़े हसन अस्करी जानलेवा, है बुग़्ज़े हसन अस्करी जानलेवा। मुनाफिक को खुद से जुदा करते रहना, जो अजरे रिसालत है अदा करते रहना, जो अजरे रिसालत है अदा करते रहना। ज़हूरे इमाम ज़माना की हर दम, ज़हूरे इमाम ज़माना की हर दम। दुआ करने वालों दुआ करते रहना, जो अजरे रिसालत है अदा करते रहना। हसन अस्करी की सना करते रहना, जो अजरे रिसालत है अदा करते रहना। ज़फ़र है ये आले नबी की फजीलत, ज़फ़र है ये आले नबी की फजीलत। मुहिब्बों को अपने अता करते रहना, जो अजरे रिसालत है अदा करते रहना। हसन अस्करी की सना करते रहना, जो अजरे रिसालत है अदा करते रहना। बर मोहम्मद व आले मोहम्मद सलावत अला मोहम्मद व आले मोहम्मद।
Jazakallah for the health, well-being and continued guidance of Brother Mohsin Hadi. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Our program is sponsored by Dr. Yasmin Hussain. For her health, well-being, continued success and tawfiq, salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. For the marhumeen of her family, in particular, Nazir Hussain, Bakhtawar Begum, Munir Hussain, Jamil Hussain, Nasir Hussain, Zamir Hussain, Tanveer Hussain, Azhar Hussain, Naseem Bano, Imtiaz Begum, Shaukat Ali, Farhat Ali, Qasim Ali, Asif Ali, and for all other marhum mu'mineen and mu'minat, kindly recite a Surah Fatiha preceded by Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Rabbil Alameen ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim. Sirata alladhina an'amta alayhim ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Next Saturday, October 19th, the Mizan Institute is holding a workshop about navigating questions of free will in predetermination. This is an in-person workshop and registration is required. Details and registration info are on the Baitul Ilm website. Without any further ado, it is my honor to welcome Hujjatul Islam, Maulana Shaykh Amir Mukhtar Faezi. Please welcome him with 3 times Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا واللعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم أجمعين من الأولين والآخرين أما بعد فقال الإمام حسن العسكري عليه الصلاة والسلام خصلتان ليس فوقهما شيء الإيمان بالله والنفع الإخوان صلوات صل على محمد وآل محمد. Dear brothers and sisters in Iman, first of all, I would like to congratulate you on this very special occasion, the wiladat of our 11th Imam, Imam Hasan Al Askari, alayhi salatu wassalam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. We are gathered to honor his life and legacy in very difficult circumstances, while our hearts are bleeding, our minds and souls are sad for what is happening in different parts of the world, and particularly in Palestine and Lebanon and Syria and certain other countries, and with the fear that it is going to expand and escalate further after knowing the fact that thousands and thousands and thousands of people have been martyred and hundreds of thousands of people have become homeless and hundreds of thousands of people are injured. So in these circumstances, when we celebrate these kind of events, we have a kind of mixed feelings. On one hand, of course, we have to celebrate these occasions no matter what we are going through, and we need to keep the life and the legacy of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salatu wassalam very near and very dear to us, and we never can abandon it or postpone it, because after all, they are our resources, they are our role models for good days and bad days. No matter in what conditions we are living, still their lives and their legacies can lead us to the right way and to the right positions. So, we are here for this particular Imam, who is our 11th Imam and the last one who has led the community in person by living in the community and guiding the community in person. And with his shahadat, a new phase of imamat and the leadership started, which is known as Al-Ghaiba, the occultation. First, for 69 years, it was Al-Ghaibatu Sughra, the minor occultation, and then after that, it was Al-Ghaibatul Kubra, the major occultation. So a landmark in our history, in our community, and as in a very short but beautiful and effective presentation, Zainab Ghadir mentioned in her presentation that we can still learn so many lessons from this brief life of our Imam, who lived only for 28 years. only 28 years of his blessed life, and out of those 28 years, he was in his office of Imamat only for 6 years. He was 21 when his father was martyred, Imam Ali al-Naqi al-Hadi alayhi salatu wassalam. And when he moved in this office as an active Imam or as the Imam-e-Natiq or Imam of the time, then he remained in that office for 6 years. And all these 6 years he spent in a city called Samarra. And since this Samarra, which was the capital at that time, Abbasis had moved from Baghdad to Samarra, and Samarra was an army base. It was a huge, big army base, and it was a capital, and they had brought first his father, the 10th Imam, and then along with him, they brought him also, who is our 11th Imam, and both of them spent almost 20 plus years in that city of Samarra. 20 plus years in Samarra, which was in Arabic, the army base is called Askar. Askar is army base, and since they lived in that Askar, in that army base for a big portion of their life, our 10th Imam and then 11th Imam particularly, so he is given this title of Askari. Why he is called Askari? Because he spent his life in Askar. Otherwise, he has other titles. His name, as everyone knows, I am just saying for the benefit of our youngsters, the others you know, his name was Hasan, and his titles are many, and one of them is Zaki and Siraj, Shakir, and Ibn Rida was a very famous one. After our 8th Imam, all these Imams, 9th Imam and 10th Imam and 11th Imam, they were known as Ibn Rida. They were referred as son of Imam Rida. And they were distinguished by their kunniyat or their names and their titles. So, Imam alayhi salatu wassalam, in those 6 years of his life, taught us many lessons, and one very important lesson for us in these times is that no matter what are the circumstances, you still have a duty, and you still have a responsibility, and you cannot make the excuse that since the government is tyrant and is ruthless and the circumstances are not in our favor and the situation is bad, so I will just go and sit down, hands on hands or hands in hand, still at home, and I will do nothing. I will do nothing because of the circumstances, because the situation is bad, it's not favorable, nothing major thing can be done, and it is dangerous to speak, it is dangerous to come out and do something, so I will just go and sit down and wait for the good time. Look at the life from Imam Ali until the shahadat of Imam Hasan Al Askari alayhi salatu wassalam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. And you will never see that ideal time and that ideal freedom and those ideal circumstances other than that short span of time which our fifth Imam and sixth Imam enjoyed again for some time when Banu Umayyah and Banu Abbas were in clash. That was, we can call, relatively a better time, relatively a good time. Again, this was not 100% safe and golden and ideal, but it was relatively a better time. But other than that, all the time of Imam Ali, 25 years, when he is living in the time of those three rulers, 5 years of his own time, then the time of Imam Hasan al Mujtaba, when he is contemporary with the worst man, actually, the most evil and wicked man. And Imam Hasan al Mujtaba is contemporary with him. And who was that? The son of Abu Sufyan, the father of Yazid. And Imam Hasan al Mujtaba is living in his time. And none of us believe that Imam Hasan al Mujtaba was just sitting hands on hand and doing nothing. Because if that was the case, then at the age 48, he would not get martyred. He would not get martyred if he was the kind of man as some of them they paint him, and the kind of picture which they make for him. Again, that is a propaganda by Banu Umayyah and their historians. But if Imam Hasan al Mujtaba was just a man who was in all enjoyments and in the pleasures of life and the luxury of life, and he was not doing anything, then he would not be martyred at the age 47 or 48. Then the time of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wassalam, he is also for 10 years. He is contemporary of the same evil, Muawiyah. And Imam alayhi salatu wassalam again, if you look at his life, if you see his letters which he wrote to Muawiyah, the letters which came from Muawiyah to Imam Hussain, and his struggle and his life, and then you look at the life of Imam Zainul Abidin. His life, a man that who had gone through those most difficult times and who was the eyewitness of this tragedy of Karbala. And then he comes back, and for almost about 34 years, 34 to 35 years, he lived in Medina. And he changed the circumstances to a great extent. A man that who was being dragged in the courts and streets of Kufa and Sham, now when he comes for tawaf in Masjidul Haram and he wants to go and kiss the Hajar Aswad, people showed a great respect to him, and they made a way for him to go and kiss the Hajar Aswad, while the crown prince is still sitting and waiting and seeing that when this crowd will decrease in number so he can go and he can kiss the Hajar Aswad. He tried first, but nobody gave him the chance or the opportunity. That shows the influence of your fourth Imam, that how much he was recognized by people, by masses, and how much he was honored and revered. that people made way for him. Then the time of Imam Muhammad al-Baqir and Imam Jafar al-Sadiq, yes, it was relatively a better time. But then, at the end of the life of Imam Jafar al-Sadiq, situation again, because Banu Abbas were now established, and now they started now doing the same thing with Ahlul Bayt, which Banu Umayyah were used to do. And finally, they murdered our sixth Imam. And all the life and all the time of our sixth Imam was not that peaceful. It was only a part of that. But then the end part of the life of our sixth Imam was again in the misery, in miserable conditions. And finally he was martyred by Mansur. Time of Imam Musa al-Kazim, you always hear that Imam who spent more time in jails than any other Imam, that is your seventh Imam. Imam Musa al-Kazim spent meaning years of his life in jails, and many times they tried to martyr him and to remove him from their way. Very difficult time, and at the same time very active Imam, and so much so that while he is contemporary of Harun, and on certain situations he was faced in a situation where he is face to face with Harun. And instead of being scared or instead of being afraid of Harun, whenever he felt that this is the time when I have to speak out and when I have to take the position, he took his positions very bravely. Then of course, the time of Imam Ali ibn Musa al-Rida comes, where again there is some time for him in his life where he can come out and do something, and for only about a year or so, a year or two at the most, he was in Marv when they made him the crown prince. But again you see the situation that his times he cannot even lead one Eid prayer peacefully. He is crown prince and he is apparently being very much respected and given a very special kind of protocol, and then they ask him to come out and lead the Eid prayer, and when he goes out, while he is on his way and he has not reached to the place where they were used to hold the Eid prayer, he receives the message that, sir, go back. Thank you very much for your cooperation and coming out, but we have changed the mind and you should just go back. And if it was normally in our protocols, if we ask one Maulana or one Shayk to come and do this, and then while he is on his way, and then we send the message that, no, thank you very much, I will do it and you go home, you know that what is going to happen. But Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, when he received this message, he goes back and he goes home. So you need to look at the life of your Imams and see that they never lived in those ideal circumstances. They lived in very challenging times, very difficult times, and faced those challenges almost on daily basis. Finally, this eighth Imam, who is Sultanul Arab wal Ajam, after that very short period of time, again without enjoying that status, he is martyred and he becomes Gharibul Ghuraba. On one hand, he is Sultanul Arab wal Ajam, which none of other Imams have that title. On other hand, he is Gharibul Ghuraba, which none of other Imams have that title. And then after the eighth Imam, they were, as Imamat is now going closer to the number 12, and they know the 12th one is going to be Mahdi, and he is going to change this whole world, and he is the one that who is going to basically turn this whole situation upside down, and he will establish justice, and he will fight against the injustices. They are now becoming more and more and more kind of restless, and they are murdering our Imams even so quickly that after 8th Imam, you look at the 9th and 10th and 11th, one lived only for 25 years, the other one lived at the most 45 years, and then this Imam, which we are celebrating his birthday, lived only for 28 years. 25, 28 and 45 years. And 3 Imams are gone. And they lived again in very difficult times, so much so that they didn't have permission to travel at their own, that decide, let go and take the travel and go to Hajj or go to Umrah or go to this city or go to that city or go to this place or go to that place. In those times, even in the time of Imam Ali and in the later Imams, if you had these leaders, these people that who were considered the what you call the personalities, or meaning those dignitaries and people of influence, influential people and dignitaries, or the people that who were considered as the leaders, even if they had to go to Makkah for Hajj or Umrah, they had to get the clearance from the local government, from the mayor or from the governor, and see that if it is okay for them to go to ziyarat of Baytullah. And most of the time their request would be turned down. Or first they had to make arrangements and send spies before and after and make all those kind of arrangements, and then they would allow them to go. Now for this 11th Imam, Imam Hasan Al Askari alayhi salatu wassalam recited salawat. Government had a schedule to keep him just in the Samarra and don't allow him to go to any long distance. They had made mandatory for him to come and see the Khalifa twice a week, on Monday and then on Thursday. So on every Monday and every Thursday, he has to come and meet the king or the Khalifa or ruler or whatever titles. For them, they were Amirul Mu'mineen of the time. But those so-called Amirul Mu'mineens or Khalifatul Muslimeens or rulers or whatever, Imam has to go and appear in their darbar and sit with them and spend some time with them, and then Imam goes back to his home. The purpose was that, of course, in those days, meaning you didn't have these air jets, these jets and airplanes that you can take and travel and come back next day, a businessman trip or something like that, meaning you were going by foot or by horse or by camel or whatever, and if every Monday you have to be back and every Thursday you have to be there, where can you go? So basically you are house arrest. Then they had spies who were always watching who goes and visits the Imams and what is the traffic, who is coming, who is going, And if Imam is meeting people or talking to people, or if he is visiting some homes or some people, so what's going on? And again, those who don't know the history, for them, Imams would be summoned to come and see the king or that so-called Amirul Mu'mineen or Khalifatul Muslimin instantly on certain occasions or certain times, because they got some bad report or they got some intelligence that he is doing something or something, and they want to confront him or they want to see him. So message would go very diplomatically, apparently. In these days also, you know that even superpowers, they treat their puppets also with great protocols and with all apparently diplomacy and everything, but meaning you know the reality. So these people from the court would go and tell Yabn Rida, your uncle, your cousin, they would call cousins, because you are sons of Ali, we are sons of Abbas, we are relatives, we are family. And the Khalifa would call himself the cousin of the Imam, and the request would go that your cousin Amirul Mu'mineen is requesting you to please come and see him. It is something very important. And you will never see in the history that any time when our Imams were summoned, or any Imam had made any excuse, or he turned down that request, or he defied and he said, no, I am not available and I can't come and I can't see him. Not even a single time. Our Imams, when they were summoned, when they were asked to come, they always went. But then we have very interesting stories that when Imams were summoned, the mood of that court and darbar was that because of that intelligence or because of that news, that bring him in and just eliminate him and chop his head. With that mood they would summon. But then what would happen here? Imam enters in the darbar, in the court, and the same man, the so-called Amirul Mu'mineen or Khalifatul Muslimin, comes down from his chair, from his throne, walks a few steps forward to receive the Imam, brings him very respectfully and makes him to sit next to him on throne or on a very special chair, and have some just formal kind of very respectful dialogue, very respectful discussion. And then within a few minutes, thank you very much, sir, you came and now you can go. And then this Amirul Mu'mineen or so-called Khalifatul Muslimin would walk with Imam until the door and would ask the officers and the people in Darbar to escort him and go with him until his home. And people would wonder that what happened. Half an hour before, he was ready to kill him. And he sent his representatives and he sent his soldiers and he sent all these people to go and bring him. And here he comes and here he totally behaves with him in a different way. Now, again, there are ulama have gone into the details and discussed these things, but I'm just giving you the example that this was the life of your Imams. So if you think that today the circumstances are not good, world is not in its ideal conditions, and we are not safe, and we cannot speak, and we cannot write, and we cannot do anything, My brothers and sisters, you are not aware of the history of your faith, and you are not aware of the history of your leadership, and you are not aware the history of Ahlul Bayt alayhimu salatu wassalam. Recite a salawat. Basically, one line lesson from the lives of our Imam is that no matter in what conditions you live, on which land you live, in which time you live, you still have a duty. You still have a responsibility. And you cannot say that you are still alive and walking on the earth and breathing and feel that I have no duty, I have no responsibility toward others or toward the other believers or toward those who are suffering or those who are being oppressed or those who are being put into all those situations, and feel that, meaning, yeah, they are going through all that, but I have no duty, I have no responsibility. If you feel that way, you are not living the legacy of your Imams. If you feel that way, you are only a fan club of Ahlul Bayt. You are not the Shias of Ahlul Bayt. Our same Imam, 11th Imam, was asked this question. And this question was asked from some other Imams also, but I particularly read that this question was asked from 11th Imam, Maula, can you explain the difference between your Shias and between your lovers? Mal farq bayna Shia wal muhibbin li Ahlil Bayt. What is the difference between those who claim that they are muhib of Ahlul Bayt, they love Ahlul Bayt, and those who claim they are Shias? And Imam alayhi salatu wasalam says, Shias are only those that who follow our footsteps, and those who live their life according to our sirat and our sunnat and our amr and our nahi, in that framework which we have given them. And those who say, we love Ahlul Bayt, we honor Ahlul Bayt, we chant their name and their slogans and this nara and that nara and praise and poetry and all that, but they are not ready to live like us and they don't put themselves in our footsteps, they are only our fans. They are not our Shias. They are only those people that who are fan club, but they are not Shias. No, my brothers and sisters, I am not there, I am not qualified, and this is none of my business to judge and tell who is Shia and who is Muhib. But all of us can judge ourselves. And all of us can examine ourselves and see whether we are Shias of Ahlul Bayt or we are Muhib of Ahlul Bayt. And as I said in one of my previous speeches, that there were only at the most 1% people in Muslim Ummah who were Shias of Ahlul Bayt. I had proven that. At the most they were 1% in the entire Muslim Ummah. And my brothers and sisters, even if today you go and ask people to judge themselves and then give the answer, you will find the same number. You will find the same number. 1% people only that who can claim that they are Shias of Ali Muhammad. and they are living the life of Ali, and they are ready to die like Hussein. How many, even in the Shia world, leave our Ahlul Sunnah brothers on other side, even in the Shia world, how many are ready to live like Ali and die like Hussein? Not more than 1%. And those are the Shias. Rest of this, that all of us are fans. We admire Ahlul Bayt. We love Ahlul Bayt. We praise Ahlul Bayt. We jump up and down for Ahlul Bayt. We participate in those processions, hold alams, do matam, chant naras, and do all that kind of thing. And distribute tabarruk and eat tabarruk and do all those rituals. But my brothers and sisters, we are all fan. To give you one example, some of those who are following the media, and particularly if you are following the Pakistani media, I made a comment the other day that if you watch the Pakistani electronic media, our channels, mashallah, now those are more than 100 channels, 24 hours news channels. Pakistan is, I think, the only country where people, even though they don't want to watch any other channel, they don't watch even movies or these, what you call the drama ko kya kehte hain, drama serials or something, and or comedy or anything. Everyone is glued with the news channels, watching news 24 hours. If you watch that media, you will see that these talk shows, these news anchors, these analysts, these experts, how much they hate America and Israel, and how much they love Iran, and how much they love the Palestine. If you see that, if you will agree with me that this whole lot, all these news anchors and these hosts and these experts and these journalists and those writers and speakers and everyone is so much in love of Iran, and even the claims which even Iran doesn't make, they make for Iran. They are ahead of Iran. Iran has this kind of missile, and Iran has that kind of tank, and Iran has this kind of aircraft. और लतीफ़ा मशहूर हो गया था कि ईरान has that kind of tank और वो तोप कि it fires, and this tank or this taupe, and if it reaches to its target is still there, it hits it, otherwise it comes back. हाँ, ये सिर्फ ईरान के पास है, किसी और के पास नहीं है. So we have, and then the 24 hours, Iran has that kind of fighters, and Iran has this kind of deal with Russia, and Iran has this kind of deal with Putin, and Iran has done this, and Iran is doing this, and 24 hours Iran. Do you think that tomorrow, if they are asked, the same experts, the same analysts, the same people, advisors, and all these people who are jumping up and down and speaking for Iran, come and now fight for Iran against Israel, do you think that any one of them will go? इसे कहते हैं शिया of the time. अब समझ में आई बात जो मैं कहना चाह रहा था. So this is what is right now. We can understand that we are Shias, yani We are fan, we are talkers, we are walkers, we are praising, we are chanting slogans, we are doing all that. But when time will come, no, I cannot do that. So my brothers and sisters, this example which I gave you, and I watch them and I know who they are, none of them is ready to go and join. But they are sitting and talking. And that's what we do. And we have been doing it for almost last more than 1,000 years. More than 1,000 years. Only talk. And those Shias that who have put themselves into the footsteps of Ahlul Bayt, those are a minority in Iran. Don't think the whole Iran is Shia and whole Iran is ready to go and fight. It's a minority but very committed in Iran, in Iraq, in Lebanon, in Yemen, in Syria, and maybe very small minority in Pakistan or other places. It's still very few. Majority of them are either finding faults and just what they call siyah numai, that they will say that, meaning, oh, here Iran was wrong and here this organization was wrong and here they are not right and here they are not right. They are all sitting and criticizing, or they are only just speaking and talking about it. They are not ready. And that is the reason why your 12th Imam is still in Ghaibat. That's the only reason. Otherwise, he is more interested in coming back than we are interested to bring him back. He is waiting impatiently. But those 11 ones, their story and their case was different. This 12th one, his job is different. So for him, he has the base. He has to has these Shias, not only the fan club. But my brothers and sisters, as we look at the situation, I see some improvement. After all, this is a mehfil, this is a celebration of Wiladat. I don't want to make it so sad and I don't want to make you cry. But I see some improvement. People are changing. People are feeling that they need to change. They are breaking from their own, those ethnic or religious communities. And they are realizing that at this day and age, if there is someone that who is truly Muslim and who is speaking for Allah and Rasul or Imam, and if there is someone that really who has the pain of Islam in his heart, they know who they are. People are impressed. People have envy. People are kind of on the verge of that change. It's not a big change, but this situation has brought, my brothers and sisters, the Shia faith on a stage. Our munazaras, our majalis, our poetry, our azadari of that 2 months and 10 days from 1,000 years has not brought us to that point in this world where this struggle And this movement and what has happened in just this last 1 year, it has brought us there. We are center of the attention. We are center of the attention. The entire Muslim Ummah, first of all, they join us or they don't join us. Leave these crooks who are crowns and kings and those who are ruling them, or people that who are meaning with them. But the masses, the communities, the common people, they are now looking with great admiration to our leadership, to our Maraje Taqleed, to our Mujtahideen, to our leadership, to our Mujahideen, to our community. And they are looking, the Baydatul Islam, the center is again Iran and Iraq. This attention that these are the real Muslims, these are the real people, it is coming now from the mouth of muftis, mouth of those people, meaning they are religious leaders. Many people, you keep watching those clips on social media and here and there. They are accepting the fact. These are the true Muslims. So, there are scholars, there are common people, there are intellectuals, there are activists, there are youth particularly. They are right now looking at you. When I say you, meaning the Shia. And Shia also again is Ashari Shia. They are looking at you, admiring you for your commitment and looking you as their leaders. So today, who is the flag holder, the standard holder? Who is speaking for Masjid al-Aqsa? Who is speaking for Qiblatul Ula? Who is speaking for these Muslims? Who is speaking for them? It is Shia. Who is dying and who is supporting? These are all Shias. So my brothers and sisters, whether we like or we don't like, whether we know or we don't know, but all eyes are toward us. The hopes are again from us. We need to understand our position. We need to know our role. We need to know who we are. We don't need to disappoint all this Muslim world. And you know that sometime in this Pakistani media, he makes those empty threats and those kind of analysis. I tell them, you don't confuse Aleman with Taliban. There is a huge and big difference between Taliban and between Aleman. Our Wali Faqih, our Maraje Taqleed, our leadership, they are the most intelligent people of this entire world. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali. They are the most intelligent people, most disciplined people. Having this turban of Ali, Jafar Sadiq, Hasan Al Askari, they are students of Jafar Sadiq. They have this history and life and legacy of 11 Imams in front of them. They know how Ali has lived. They know how Hasan and Hussein have lived. They know how Baqir and Sadiq have lived. They know all these Imams and their legacy. They are not reckless. They are not ruthless. They are not irresponsible. Unfortunately, media is not fair and is very biased, but still you could hear from them that even in this situation, when this crazy man sitting in Tel Aviv, who is warmonger, and he wants to impose the war on Iran, and he wants to drag United States and entire NATO in the war. It is Iran which still has held itself so responsible that they didn't allow him to bring this war into this whole region and start this third world war. If you listen to them, even these biased people, they will say that who is avoiding. But at the same time, they have the legacy of Ahlul Bayt. Ahlul Bayt, their philosophy was that never initiate the war, never start the war, never attack first, never go and do these kind of crazy things. But when war is imposed upon you, then no matter how few you are, and no matter where you are and what are the conditions, then never flee from the war. Never turn your back. Get killed, but never run away from the battlefield. Look at the life of Ali, look at the life of Hasan, look at the life of Hussein, look at the lives of all of your Imams. It was considered dhillat, and the slogan of our Imam in Ashura was Hayhat minna dhilla. We will never be humiliated. Yes, we are not warmonger. We don't want to have a war. We want to live peacefully. We want to have a dialogue. We are civilized people. But if you will impose the war, and if you would like to humiliate us, and you would like to make us surrender to you, then over our dead body. That is where now the situation is all, you see, it is standing. So my brothers and sisters, how it has happened? I am concluding now, I have only 2 or 3 minutes left. The legacy of our Imams, first of all, they were the Hujjat-e-Khuda, representative of God on the earth. Pious, infallible, masoom, most accomplished, most knowledgeable, most intelligent. Even these words are short and they cannot explain our Imams. But our Imams, they spent their lives in building the communities, and they were community organizers, they were community builders. They didn't build things in air. Our Imams, if you read their life, the life of your 11th Imam, just as is case of study, they spent their life in community, with community, around community, for community, and they established the community and they organized the community. Now, most of us, one of our issues and problems is that we are not persistent and we are not consistent. Many of us, we are people of good niyat, good intentions. We want to do good, but we keep planning and keep postponing, and we keep changing those goalposts, and we say that, one day inshallah I will become Hazrat Jibreel. One day inshallah I will become Hatam Tai. One day inshallah I will become the most organized person and most dedicated person and most forgiving and most caring and most sharing, but inshallah one day. And then when it is going to happen? Inshallah. I am planning, I need to first find Zamzam to make wuzu, then I need to go to Masjidul Haram, to stand in the center of Masjidul Haram, to make that kind of niyat and make that kind of resolution. And next to Hajr Aswad, next to Maqam Ibrahim, I have to go and make this resolution. And then, inshallah, many of us will say, I don't want to even come back. I just want to live there and I want to die there. You know, these kind of wishy-washy kind of thinking, those kind of plans, and everything tomorrow, everything next year, everything when I get 40, everything when I get 60, every time when I will get retired, everything when I will do this. What no? What no? What can we do today? So our Imams, they never did that. They lived in the moment. They never killed and wasted a minute. And they knew they have to be the people, the practical people. They need to act, and acting once a while here and there is not enough. They were the people that who were routinely acting, working, consistently, persistently. They never change their mind, they never change their goals, their plans. And for their entire life, they remained on their position and on their mission, and they kept the same direction. And they kept giving the price, and they kept going through the sacrifices, and one day it was good for them, one day it was bad for them. But they continuously going ahead. And then it was not only one Imam, and it was not only 10 years of his time or 20 years of his time or 30 years of his time, and then he got tired and he said, oh, I did everything. This world doesn't listen to me. This world doesn't change. Nobody pays any attention to me. So let me just sit down home and only do Allah, Allah. Normally that's what we do. When we see nobody listens, nothing is changing, then we lose the hope and we say, just sit at home and do Allah, Allah. Our Imams never did that. They remained in the people. They remained hopeful. They remained committed. And then what happened? My brothers and sisters, and that is unique, and this is where I'm ending. Ibn Abil Hadid, you have heard his name, Ibn Abil Hadid, a great scholar, he is Sunni scholar. They call him Tafzili. He was one of those Sunnis, and there was a time when there were so many Sunnis of that kind that they were Sunnis. They believed in Abu Bakr and Umar and Usman and Imam Ali, but they would say that Ali was afdal than all these three people. They didn't curse them, and they still admire them and follow them, but they say Ali was better than them and superior than them. And they have a very special respect and honor for Imam Ali. These people are called Tafzili, or at one time they were used to be called Shias. Many of those great scholars in the earlier history. Later on, the propaganda of Banu Umayyah and Banu Abbas changed the whole landscape of the Sunni world, and they changed their position, and they said, no, that was not right. Alhamdulillah, right now again I see the signs, it is changing. Now again it is changing. As they say, history repeats. Now we see that there are Sunnis and Muftis and scholars who still say that they are Sunni, but they say there is no comparison between Ali and between all of them. No, and now they are coming back and their numbers are increasing. And what is happening now in Lebanon, what is happening in Iraq, what is happening in Palestine, what has happened in Iran and Iraq, that was one of the reasons that this old history is now again coming back. We Shias, only by cursing and by doing this azadari and all this poetry, were not able to bring that the wheel of history back. We even actually made them to go to extremes. But this positive work done by these Shia brothers and sisters, their service to Quran, their service to Qiraat, their service to Hajj, and going in thousands and thousands and thousands to gather for Hajj, this hijab, these young youth, Muslims, Shias in those countries, they change the mind of people. And then what is happening in last few years? So it is changing. But in old times there were scholars known for being tafzili, and one of them was Ibn Abil Hadid. Ibn Abil Hadid has done the Sharah, the commentary on Nahjul Balagha, in 20 volumes. 20 volumes, it's an encyclopedia. On one volume of Nahjul Balagha, 20 volumes, it is commentary written by a Sunni scholar. Ibn Abil Hadid, he was very accomplished scholar. He is quoting a man by the name of Jahiz, who lived in 3rd century, and he was not a fan of Ahlul Bayt. Basically, he was known as someone who had problem with Ahlul Bayt, Jahiz. But facts are facts. Jahiz says something, and Ibn Abil Hadid quotes in his Sharh Ibn Abil Hadid. He says, this family of Abu Talib, this family of Ali, their unique feature, their unique legacy is this, that generation after generation, generation after generation, generation after generation, even up to the 10 generations, they have the same vision, same direction, same commitment, same resolve, same piety, same taqwa, same bravery, and same generosity, and the same life commitment with Islam and Muslims. He says, I as historian have never seen in the history of humanity, in East or West, among Muslims or non-Muslims, where 10 generations, one after another, they continued the same legacy. And then he counts from Ali until Imam Hasan Al Askari, and then he counts from Imam Hasan Al Askari to Imam Ali, and he says, read, these are the people. Can you show me any change of heart, any change of direction, any change of commitment? And that is why they survived. They not only survived, but they even prevailed. And they were able to establish a pure legacy. And they were able to win the hearts and win the minds, despite all that propaganda, all the power, all the money, all what these governments were used to do against them, but they were able to continue. And the fruits are seen, my brothers and sisters. So I'm sending you back with this message that if we really want to do something, first of all, we shouldn't change within a few years. Within something we have done that is good enough, we have done our job, no, it's over. No. Whatever we started, whatever we are doing, if it was good, if it is good, we need to continue doing it until the last breath of our life. And at the same time, we need to prepare our next generation in a way that where we live, they start from there. And they need to also prepare their next generation in the same way where they live, they continue. And my brothers and sisters, this is the message, this is the legacy of Ahlul Bayt. We always continue. We always continue what our forefathers have done, and we will continue in the same spirit, in the same way. We are community people. Our Imams were the community people. They lived and died for community. They were part and parcel of community. They never went away from community. Community was not kind with them. Community was not good with them. Community was not respectful to them. Community didn't give them the right position which they deserved, but still they remain in the community, with the community, and they kept their commitment with the community. That is the message which we learn from our all Imams, and of course with Imam Hasan Al Askari, because he was the last one of all those 11 Imams. Recite a salawat. For our sponsors, for their sehat, salamti, khair o barakat, please recite a loud salawat. For their marhumeen, your own marhumeen, and all of marhumeen and shuhada, please recite a Surah Fatiha masbukatan bis salawat. Brothers and sisters, we have some community members that who are ill and they have some health issues. Their families have requested for dua shifa. Some of their relatives are in community and some are abroad, but all of them need our dua. So for speedy and full recovery and shifa of all these Mareez, Mu'mineen and Mu'minat, please recite 3 times loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. عليك يا رسول الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك مولاي يا أبا عبد الله الحسين. السلام عليك وعلى جدك وأبيك. السلام عليك وعلى أمك وأخيك. السلام عليك وعلى جميع أعوانك وأنصارك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك مولاي يا أبا الحسن علي بن موسى الرضا. كن شفيعنا وشفيع والدينا في يوم الجزاء. السلام عليك وعلى آبائك السبعة وعلى أبنائك الأربعة. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك مولاي يا صاحب العصر والزمان. السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن. السلام عليك يا إمام الإنس والجان. عجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل الله مخرجك وظهورك وجعلنا من أعوانك وأنصارك. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.